royal is clean, Your Highness.
When Coming to America premiered in 1988, it wasn't just a comedy, it was a cultural phenomenon. But behind the royal laughs and outrageous characters lie secrets that will make you see this classic in a whole new way.
Okay, now what the fuck do you want?
We desire a room.
You better not be wasting my time. You got money? Come on in, gentlemen.
Fact 1.
The Brown Bman. Now that was a great boxer.
Damn right.
Most fans know Eddie Murphy played multiple roles, but the number might surprise you. He portrayed Prince Akeem, Clarence the Barber, Randy Watson, and Saul the Jewish customer. But Murphy also secretly voiced background lines in several scenes. He perfected each role with different posture, accents, and physical tics. Special effects and prosthetic makeup by Rick Baker made the transformations seamless. The crew sometimes forgot it was Murphy under the disguise. In the barbershop scenes, Murphy interacted with himself without CGI, just careful editing. Makeup sessions for each transformation could take up to 6 hours. Murphy loved the freedom to improvise wildly as each persona. He said playing multiple characters kept the energy fresh. His performances blurred the line between lead and ensemble cast. Even some of his co-stars didn't realize it was him in all those roles until after filming. It became a signature move for Murphy's future films. The audience was essentially watching a one-man comedy troupe, and it proved Murphy could carry an entire world on his own shoulders. Fact 2.
Good morning, Your Highness.
Good morning, Your Highness.
Good morning, Your Highness.
Happy birthday, Your Highness.
Yes, it is my birthday.
The lavish Zamund Palace wasn't built on a Hollywood backlot. Those grand interiors were filmed inside New York's Lyndhurst Mansion. The exterior shots came from real historic estates. Production designer Jeffrey Beecroft transformed these spaces into African royalty. Furniture and tapestries were imported from multiple countries. The crew used real gold leaf on some set pieces. Security guards were hired to protect valuable antiques. Some of the rooms were so fragile, heavy equipment couldn't enter. Cameras had to be mounted on lightweight rigs. The chandeliers were authentic 19th century fixtures. Finishing touches included African art commissioned specifically for the film. It created a believable blend of opulence and culture. Viewers thought it was a fully built palace set. In reality, they were walking through history. The location added authenticity that no studio stage could match, and it gave Zamunda the regal gravitas it needed. Fact 3.
Is something troubling you, my son?
No, father.
Son, please. I am more than the exalted ruler of this land and the master of all I survey. I'm also a concerned dad.
James Earl Jones played King Jaff Joffer with commanding presence. His costumes were custom-made by designer Deborah Nadoolman. The lion pelt draped over his shoulder was real fur. It required special clearance to use on set. The crown was crafted from solid brass and plated in gold. It was adorned with real gemstones from South Africa. The total cost for his primary outfit exceeded $30,000. Jones said it was the heaviest costume he'd ever worn. He could only wear it for short periods under the lights. The fabrics were imported from Ghana and Nigeria. Patterns were based on authentic royal attire. Even the staff he carried was hand-carved. The look instantly conveyed authority and wealth. It became one of the most recognizable costumes in 80s cinema. To this day, it remains a fan-favorite cosplay. It wasn't just clothing, it was a statement of power. Fact 4.
Son, I'm just gonna tell you this one time.
Yes, sir.
You want to keep working here, stay off the drugs.
McDonald's wasn't a real fast food chain, but it sure fooled people. The production transformed a vacant Wendy's in Queens. They replaced all branding with McDowell's logos and colors. Even the uniforms were custom designed for the fake brand. Owner Cleo McDowell's, "They have the golden arches, we have the golden arcs,"
They got the golden arches. Mine is the golden arcs.
became iconic. Locals lined up thinking it was a real restaurant. Some even tried to order food during filming. Health inspectors visited, assuming it was operational. The crew had to explain it was all a set. Inside, the kitchen equipment was functional for realism. Actors handled real burgers and fries on camera. The attention to detail was so strong, McDonald's took notice. They investigated but didn't take legal action. The gag became one of the film's most beloved jokes, and McDowell's became a pop culture legend. To this day, pop-up replicas appear at fan events. Fact 5. Like Murphy, Arsenio Hall took on more than one character. He played Semmy, Reverend Brown, Morris the Barber, and Extremely Ugly Girl. Hall embraced the makeup chair, often for hours at a time. Rick Baker crafted his transformations to match Murphy's level of disguise. Hall improvised much of his barbershop banter. He based Morris's mannerisms on people from his own neighborhood. The chemistry between Murphy and Hall in those scenes was electric. They often made each other break character. The ugly girl makeup was so convincing, extras didn't recognize him. Hall loved the freedom of playing wildly different personalities. It showed his range beyond being Murphy's sidekick. He credited Murphy for encouraging him to take risks. Their multiple role performances became a hallmark of the film. Audiences got double the laughs without realizing it at first. It proved Hall was just as versatile as his co-star, and it set the bar for comedic duo transformations. Fact 6. The exotic animals in the palace weren't CGI or fake props. The lion in King Jaff's entrance scene was a live, trained animal. It came from a renowned Hollywood animal trainer's collection. The crew had to follow strict safety protocols during filming. James Earl Jones stood only a few feet away from it. Trainers kept the animal calm with food and soft commands. Several peacocks seen in the background were also real. They had to be wrangled between takes to avoid noise disruptions. Even the elephants in the procession were authentic, brought in from a reserve. The decision to use real animals added grandeur to the palace scenes. It also created challenges with scheduling and permits. Eddie Murphy later said the lion's presence was humbling. Actors were briefed on how to act around them. No animal incidents occurred during production. The realism helped Zamunda feel like a living, breathing kingdom, and it made the royal family's wealth even more believable. Fact 7.
Who was your star in that picture?
Young guy named Eddie Murphy, I think it is.
Oh, Christ, I hate him.
For Coming to America, he transformed Murphy and Hall into multiple distinct characters. Each transformation required unique prosthetics, wigs, and costumes. Some makeup applications took over 6 hours to complete. Baker used foam latex for flexibility and comfort. The barbershop characters were the most complex due to constant dialogue. Special adhesives kept prosthetics intact under hot studio lights. Baker personally oversaw every makeup session. He also created custom dentures to change the actors' speech patterns. The transformations were so convincing that extras were fooled. Even Paramount executives didn't realize Murphy played Saul until post-production. The work earned Baker an Oscar nomination for Best Makeup. He lost to Beetlejuice, but Coming to America became one of his career highlights. His designs remain a benchmark for practical comedy makeup. It proved that even in a comedy, craftsmanship matters, and it gave the film some of its most unforgettable moments. Fact 8. Originally, the scene was more revealing. Paramount worried about losing a PG-13 audience. They trimmed camera angles and cut a few lines. The joke about the royal penis is clean stayed in, to Murphy's delight. Test audiences roared with laughter despite the edits. The scene became one of the most quoted in the film. It also set the tone for the movie's playful edge. Behind the scenes, it was shot with careful modesty barriers. The actresses involved were briefed extensively beforehand. Murphy kept the set lighthearted to ease nerves. Crew members recalled multiple takes just for comedic timing. Even trimmed, the scene pushed the envelope for 80s comedies. It helped cement the film's cheeky sense of humor, and it proved that sometimes suggestion is funnier than showing everything. Fact 9. But their relationship had soured after that film. Murphy initially didn't want to work with him again. Paramount pushed for Landis due to his comedy track record. Murphy agreed, but tensions resurfaced during production. The two clashed over creative control and scheduling. Despite disagreements, both admitted the final product worked. Murphy later said Landis knew how to get the laughs. Landis credited Murphy with carrying the film's energy. Their dynamic was sometimes fiery, sometimes collaborative. It added a unique edge to the shoot. By the end, they maintained mutual respect. They reunited again years later for Beverly Hills Cop 3. The partnership proved they could work through differences, and the comedy magic on screen was undeniable. Fact 10. When Akeem and Lisa ride the subway, those aren't all extras. The production filmed on a real New York City subway train. They mixed hired actors with genuine commuters. Some passengers didn't know a movie was being shot. The crew filmed quickly to avoid service disruption. Murphy and Sherry Hedley stayed in character through multiple takes. The authentic setting added to the film's New York realism. It also created challenges with sound and lighting. Street noise and train rumbles had to be looped in post-production. The spontaneity gave the scene an unpolished charm. Several passengers appeared genuinely amused on camera. It captured the energy of the city in the 80s. Hedley said it was one of her favorite shooting days. It blurred the line between fiction and reality, and it reminded viewers that Akeem's journey was unfolding in a real world. Fact 11.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Sherry Hedley, who played Lisa McDowell, was not a major star in 1988. She had done some modeling and minor TV roles. The role of Lisa became her big break. Murphy personally approved her casting after screen tests. Hedley brought warmth and intelligence to the role. Her chemistry with Murphy was natural from day one. She prepared by studying romantic leads from classic films. Hedley said she saw Lisa as the heart of the story. She filmed many emotional scenes in one take. Her grounded performance balanced the film's over-the-top comedy. It earned her critical praise and fan devotion. She reprised the role over 30 years later in Coming to America. Hedley credits the film with launching her career. Her portrayal gave Lisa depth beyond a love interest, and it proved Murphy knew how to spot star potential. Fact 12.
He beat Joe Lewis's ass.
That's right, he did whoop Joe Lewis' ass.
Joe Louis was 75 years old when he fought.
I don't know how old he was, but he got his ass whooped.
Coming to America opened in June 1988 to strong reviews. It grossed over $288 million worldwide. That made it the highest-grossing comedy of the year. It outperformed several major studio tentpoles. Murphy's name alone drew massive audiences. Repeat viewings boosted ticket sales throughout the summer. The film performed equally well overseas. It became a pop culture talking point almost instantly. Lines from the film entered everyday conversation. Paramount credited the film with revitalizing their comedy slate. It solidified Murphy as one of Hollywood's biggest draws. The financial success guaranteed decades of reruns. Even now, it remains a cable and streaming favorite. It proved comedy could be both profitable and culturally impactful, and it cemented Murphy's status as a global superstar. Fact 13.
Take the money out! All of it! Don't stall me, fat boy. Let's go!
The armed robbery scene features a then-unknown Samuel L. Jackson. He plays the man who holds up McDowell's. At the time, Jackson was still building his acting resume. He was cast after impressing in stage work. The role was small but memorable. Murphy improvised much of his confrontation with Jackson. The quick disarm added to Akeem's heroic image. Jackson later joked he was beaten up by a prince. Fans still love spotting him in the film. The role helped him get noticed by casting directors. Within a few years, he became one of Hollywood's most recognizable actors. The cameo is now a beloved Easter egg. It's proof that even small roles can make a big impact. And it's a reminder of how many stars got early breaks in 80s comedies. Fact 14. Lisa's wedding gown was created by designer Vera Wang. At the time, Wang was transitioning from skating to fashion. She brought elegance and regal detail to the costume. The gown used over 50 yards of silk. It featured hand-stitched beading and lace. The veil was custom-fitted to Sherry Hedley's head shape. Wang consulted with the costume department for historical inspiration. The dress became one of the most elaborate in 80s cinema. It weighed over 25 pounds. Hedley needed help moving in it between takes. The gown's look added grandeur to the final scenes. It symbolized the blending of cultures in the story. Vera Wang's later fame made the design even more legendary, and it remains a favorite for bridal fashion enthusiasts. It was a statement piece worthy of Zamund royalty. Fact 15. In 1990, a writer sued Paramount, claiming the story was based on his work. Art Buchwald alleged the concept came from his pitch to the studio. The court ruled in Buchwald's favor, saying the similarities were substantial. Paramount settled the case with a financial payout. The incident became a cautionary tale for Hollywood studios. It highlighted the importance of crediting original ideas. Murphy denied having seen Buchwald's treatment. The lawsuit did not affect the film's popularity. It remains one of the most famous idea theft cases in the industry. Film schools still use it as a legal case study. It didn't tarnish the movie's legacy with fans, but it did change how studios handled unsolicited pitches. The case reinforced the value of intellectual property, and it remains part of Coming to America's behind-the-scenes history. Fact 16. The national flag of Zamunda didn't exist before the film. The art department created it from scratch. It features African-inspired colors and patterns. The lion emblem symbolizes strength and royalty. Flags were made in multiple sizes for different scenes. Some were printed while others were hand-stitched. The design had to look authentic yet fictional. It appeared in palace halls, outdoor processions, and uniforms. Fans later replicated it for cosplay and events. The flag became a subtle but important part of the film's world-building. It gave Zamunda a tangible national identity, and it added depth to the fictional kingdom. It's a detail many viewers miss, but it helps sell the illusion. The same design reappeared in the sequel decades later. It's a prime example of how small touches make big differences. Fact 17. Several of Murphy's real-life family members were given cameos. His brother Charlie Murphy appears briefly in the basketball game scene. Another relative worked behind the scenes in production. Murphy liked keeping his work environment family-friendly. It also gave his loved ones a taste of Hollywood. Charlie would later become a comedy star in his own right. The cameos are easy to miss unless you know where to look. Murphy enjoyed surprising people with them in later interviews. It became a quiet tradition in some of his films. These appearances kept him grounded during the hectic shoot, and they made the experience more personal for him. It's one more reason the film feels full of warmth off-screen, and it gave fans fun Easter eggs to discover on repeat viewings. Some fans even claim these small roles add to the film's charm. It gave viewers a sense of being in on a family secret. Murphy has said it made long shoot days feel less like work, and it proved that even blockbuster sets can feel like home. Fact 18. Many outdoor scenes were shot on location in Queens, New York. Crowds gathered daily to watch the filming. Locals often shouted at the actors between takes. Some scenes had to be redone because of background noise. Murphy was mobbed for autographs and photos. The energy of the neighborhood bled into the film. Street vendors even tried selling fake Zamundan souvenirs nearby. The production embraced the chaos, using some real reactions in shots. It gave the New York scenes an authenticity that's hard to fake. Residents still remember the shoot decades later, and it's cemented Coming to America as part of Queens' pop culture history. Some local businesses still display photos from the filming days. It brought a sense of pride to the community. For a few weeks, Queens became the royal capital of Zamunda, and the buzz around the shoot made it feel like a citywide event. That real-world excitement still radiates through those scenes today. Fact 19. Early drafts referred to the movie as The Prince from Zamunda. Paramount felt it sounded too formal and limiting. They wanted something broader and more inviting. Coming to America was suggested during a marketing meeting. Murphy approved the change immediately. The new title captured both the plot and comedic tone. It also worked better for international markets. The original title can still be found in early scripts. Changing it likely helped the film reach a wider audience. It's now considered one of the most fitting comedy titles of the era. Marketing teams praised how easy it was to promote. It allowed for creative poster designs and taglines. The phrase has since entered pop culture as a shorthand for big moves. Even without context, people understand the excitement in it. And in hindsight, it's hard to imagine the film called anything else. It was a small change that made a huge difference. Fact 20. The fictional McDowell's sparked so much fan love that real pop-ups appeared. Some restaurants recreated the menu as a tribute. In 2016, a Chicago McDonald's was transformed into McDowell's for a day. It featured the golden arcs, fake uniforms, and themed food. Fans lined up for hours just to take photos. The stunt was wildly successful on social media. It showed the film's lasting cultural imprint, and it proved a good joke can live far beyond the screen. Even decades later, people still crave a McDowell's burger. The pop-up inspired food bloggers and influencers worldwide. Some small diners even kept McDowell's items on their menus permanently. The phenomenon proved that nostalgia sells, and it kept coming to America alive for a new generation. In a way, McDowell's became as iconic as Zamunda itself. It's a rare example of fiction creating something tangible in real life, and it's a delicious piece of movie history fans can actually taste.